The meat aisle looks clean, bright, and safe, doesn't it? But the truth is, what you see in those neatly wrapped packages doesn't always tell the whole story. According to USDA reports, millions of pounds of beef, chicken, and pork are recalled every single year for contamination, mishandling, or improper labeling. And yet, these same products are stocked in the same stores people trust every day. Did you know that not all grocery stores have your best interest at heart when it comes to meat? Think about it. How many times have you bought meat that looked fresh in the package, only to get home, open it, and realize the smell was off? How often do you see labels like natural or butcher quality without knowing what that actually means? The reality is that not all grocery chains handle meat equally. Some cut corners, some flat out lie, and others, surprisingly, get it right. Number 7. Target, the polished store. With a dirty secret, Target has earned its reputation as one of America's most trusted retailers. From the moment shoppers step inside, clean aisles, bold red branding, and stylish food packaging signal high quality. But behind the polished presentation lies a different story, particularly in the meat section. For years, customer complaints about Target's meat have circulated online. People report slimy chicken, gray beef, and packages that look questionable long before their sell-by dates. These are not isolated incidents. They reflect a deeper issue that undermines consumer confidence. Many shoppers are left wondering why the meat doesn't match the rest of Target's premium image. The challenge starts with Target's supply model. The store doesn't operate its own butcher network. Instead, most meat arrives already packaged and processed in bulk at large facilities before being shipped to stores. Once on the shelf, it's treated like any other prepackaged item. There's no hands-on oversight. If something isn't fresh, it may stay put until a shopper notices and complains. As if inconsistent freshness weren't enough, Target has also been tied to several large-scale recalls involving its supplier network. One notable example came in late 2024 when BrucePac, the large meat supplier, issued a massive recall of nearly 10 million pounds of ready-to-eat meat and poultry products across retailers including Target due to potential listeria contamination. More recently, recalls were expanded to nearly 12 million pounds, raising alarm over food safety. These recalls affected a range of products, from refrigerated salads to meal kits under Target's Good and Gather brand. Such incidents expose a troubling gap. Shoppers pay premium prices for the sense of quality that a Target store evokes, but they may not be getting the same level of care with perishable items like meat. A store known for style and convenience faces backlash when the most basic product fails to live up to standards. Customers have noticed. Online complaints show photos of slimy chicken, gray beef, and sell-by dates that don't match what's inside. Some even accuse Target of letting questionable packages linger on shelves during busy weekends. This disconnect between the polished in-store experience and what ends up on your dinner plate undermines the trust Target has built in every other department. Target's polished facade works for most departments, but when it comes to meat, the disconnect between image and experience becomes impossible to ignore. The challenge for Target isn't finding the next trend or pushing its brand aesthetics. It ensures that everyday items like chicken and beef meet the everyday expectations of quality, safety, and freshness that shoppers come to expect from one of their most trusted brands. And if you think Target's meat is risky, wait until you hear about Sprouts. Have you had a bad experience with Target's meat? Drop it in the comments. We're compiling the worst offenders for a future video. Number 6. Sprouts, the farmer's market that sometimes fails its own promise. Sprouts is the grocery store that wants to feel different. Walk inside and you'll notice it right away. Bright colors, wide aisles, and the feeling that you're in a healthier version of a supermarket. The branding screams fresh, organic, and natural. Compared to Walmart or Target, Sprouts feels cleaner and more focused on quality. And for many shoppers, that's true. The store sells grass-fed beef, chicken raised without antibiotics, and meat that looks more carefully picked than what you'd see at bigger chains. Sprouts posts sourcing information and tries to be open about where food comes from. That kind of transparency builds trust, and over the years it has created a loyal following. People shop at Sprouts because they believe they're getting something healthier, but when you look a little closer, not everything lines up with the image. The first issue is price. Sprouts have always cost a little more, But lately, customers say the prices feel out of control. Cuts of steak, chicken, and bacon often cost way more than the same items at other stores. Shoppers on Reddit point out that some prices have more than tripled since 2020. For a chain that sells itself as a farmer's market for everyone, the growing price gap makes it harder for families to keep shopping there regularly. Then there's the freshness problem. Customers often complain about meat spoiling too quickly. A package of pork or lamb might look fine in the store, but once you get it home, it can go bad within a day or two, even before the sell-by date. One customer online said their pork shoulder smelled awful the day after purchase. Others said the same about lamb chops and chicken. It's not an isolated story. For a store that sells better food, this is a serious issue. Sprouts does have systems in place to protect customers. On their website, they explain how they work with vendors, train staff on food safety, and even run regular temperature checks. They also share information about recalls, like when their Chicken Street Taco kit was pulled for possible listeria contamination. So the company clearly takes safety seriously on paper. But sometimes the customer experience tells another story. One shopper bought a lamb chop on a manager's special discount. It turned out to be rotten, and when they tried to return it, the store refused because of the marked down label. Instead of fixing the problem, the store made it worse by turning a bad product into a customer service nightmare. But not everything is negative, though. Bargain hunters say Sprouts is one of the best places for markdowns if you know when to shop. Managers' specials can make expensive cuts affordable, and shoppers who time it right can find real deals. So where does that leave Sprouts? It's still more trustworthy than bargain chains when it comes to healthy food. But rising prices, spoiled meat, and poor customer service are real cracks in the brand's image. For now, Sprouts sits in the middle, better than the cheapest options, but not always worth the premium price tag. And if you think Sprouts has problems, wait until you hear about Trader Joe's. Have you had meat go bad from Sprouts? Tell us in the comments. We may feature your story in our next video. Number 5. Trader Joe's, the fun grocery store with a not-so-fun meat aisle. Trader Joe's has a loyal fan base. People love its vibrant branding, clever packaging, and those quirky finds you can't get anywhere else. Shopping there feels fun, even exciting. But ask about their fresh meat, and suddenly the story changes. The meat section at Trader Joe's is tiny, options are limited, and the same cuts often appear across locations. For a brand known for discovery and value, this feels underwhelming. The portions are small and the prices can catch you off guard, especially when you expect generous value. It's odd when the store that nails frozen meals and snacks falls short on fresh basics like chicken or steak. Then there's the issue of quality. Customers say the meat often spoils quickly, sometimes even before its sell-by date. One shopper reported chicken going bad within 24 hours. Another said beef smelled off after just 2 days in the fridge. These aren't one-off complaints. When several shoppers say the same thing, you start to wonder if something's off with how the meat is handled or stored. This matters because the rest of Trader Joe's sets a very different standard. The frozen meals taste homemade, the snacks get talked about in viral food videos, and the overall brand feels thoughtful. But that trust begins to fracture when the fresh meat doesn't deliver. Fans will cheer when the great granola is restocked, but silently switch grocery trips when it comes to buying dinner meat. It's telling that many loyal customers say they avoid the meat aisle altogether. They still love the store, just not for its fresh protein section. It's like loving a restaurant for its appetizers and drinks, but never ordering the main course because you know it won't match the hype. Trader Joe's wins hearts with creativity, surprise snacks, and cozy vibes. It excels at feel-good food, just not at fresh meat. In a world where grocery shopping is both practical and emotional, this disconnect stands out. Trader Joe's continues to shine in its core strengths like creativity, surprise snacks, and cozy vibes. But until the fresh meat department gets more attention, better selection, better turnover, better quality, that part of the store remains a weak spot. And for a brand built on winning love, let's hope they decide to fix what's behind that meat counter soon. And if you think Trader Joe's struggles are surprising, wait until you see what's happening at Wegmans. Have you had a bad experience with Trader Joe's meat? Share it in the comments. Your story could be in our next video. Number 4. Wegmans, the grocery store everyone loves. With a few cracks in the shine, Wegmans has earned something close to legendary status among grocery stores. Shoppers often talk about it like it's more than just a market. It's a destination. It's ranked as the best grocery store in the U.S. multiple times, beloved for its variety, quality, and shopping experience. One of the biggest reasons for that love is its meat department. Wegmans goes all in with an in-store butcher and trained staff who can cut meat to order, explain where it came from, and help you find exactly what you need. If you're unsure what type of steak to get, there's someone there who knows the answer. The selection is another reason people rave about it. You'll find grass-fed beef, specialty cuts, and rare options you rarely see elsewhere. Some TikTok fans even show off juicy Wagyu steaks or tender lamb chops, often prepared by knowledgeable butchers right there behind the counter. It's a meat department designed for food lovers. Wegmans also builds loyalty through innovation and community. It uses vertical integration to keep shelves plush and avoid out-of-stock issues. The chain even owns its own organic farm, helping customers access fresher seasonal produce at better prices than many expect. Customers love the store's atmosphere. Spacious layouts, cafe areas, meal-to-go stations, and wide aisles make grocery shopping feel less like a chore and more like a relaxing outing. Their Shoppers Club loyalty app adds even more value, offering digital coupons, shopping lists organized by aisle, and meal suggestions to help you plan smarter. But love doesn't mean perfection, and Wegmans has its critics, especially when it comes to freshness and pricing. Some shoppers report inconsistent meat quality across locations. One customer in Rochester wrote about meat arriving rancid and even produced that looked fine on the outside but was rotten inside. These kinds of posts don't dominate the web, but they show that the chain isn't immune to breakdowns in handling. The price also comes up. Wegmans isn't cheap. It's the kind of store people visit when they want high quality, even if the cost is higher. But a few shoppers worry that price increases and product cuts are making the store feel more like gourmet Walmart, expensive with less to offer. Still, most people agree that the meat department remains strong. It's not just about what you buy, but how you shop. Having skilled staff you can ask, meat you can trust, and options you wouldn't find elsewhere, that matters a lot. Wegmans still delivers one of the best in-store butcher experiences in the country. Knowledgeable staff, specialty cuts, and a wide selection make it a paradise for meat lovers. But shoppers should stay alert to occasional freshness hiccups and be ready to pay a premium. And if you think Wegmans' prices are steep, wait until you hear what Walmart's low prices might really cost you. Have you ever had a bad cut from Wegmans? Comment below. Your experience could be featured in our next video. Number 3. Walmart. Low prices, high risks in the meat aisle. Walmart is the biggest grocery retailer in the United States. Millions of families shop there every week because its prices are so low. But in the meat aisle, those savings often come with trade-offs that shoppers regret. Reports of Walmart meat going bad or looking off are widespread. Customers open packages only to find gray beef, chicken that smells bad, or pork with odd-looking labels. One TikTok user shared a video that reached over 4 million views. When cutting into great value chicken nuggets, she found them hollow, with no chicken at all, just breading. Walmart acknowledged the issue and said they're working with suppliers to fix it. Food safety concerns go beyond odd-looking meat. In 2024, Walmart was part of a major recall involving nearly 10 million pounds of meat and poultry from Brucepac due to potential listeria contamination. The list included Walmart among other major grocery chains. In early 2024, Walmart also issued a separate recall, 16,000 pounds of ground beef, after tests showed E. coli contamination. These safety alerts make many shoppers uneasy about buying meat, even if the price is low. Why? A big part of the problem is Walmart's massive supply chain model. The company relies on huge suppliers like Tyson and Cargill and often receives meat that's prepackaged off-site. That setup keeps costs down but makes oversight much harder. A former Walmart meat department manager revealed through a Reddit AMA that packages might sit in coolers longer than they should, since there's no dedicated butchery on site. Reviews and test results back up consumers' concerns. One shopper bought lean ground beef labeled 93/7 meat, but when she opened it, the package was full of fat and almost no meat at all. Her TikTok post went viral. Even when the meat looks fine, other issues crop up. Customers have reported unpleasant odors from ground beef and raw chicken. One shopper described a noticeable smell that made them avoid buying meat from Walmart indefinitely. Another person mentioned chicken that smelled like rotten eggs, which they found sitting on shelves unrefrigerated during stocking. Walmart has tried to improve. They opened their own beef processing plant in Georgia in 2020 to better control freshness and safety. The store also established the Fresh Angle program in 2017, focusing on improved handling and temperature protocols. Walmart is unbeatable on price, but in the meat aisle, that bargain may cost you in quality, freshness, and peace of mind. Inspect every package carefully or consider buying meat elsewhere. The low prices may save money, but for some, the risk isn't worth the cost. And if you think Walmart's low prices are risky, wait until you see how Whole Foods' high prices come with their own surprises. Have you ever had a bad experience with Walmart meat? Tell us in the comments. Number 2. Whole Foods. Premium prices, premium promises, and some uncomfortable truths. Whole Foods built its empire on one promise: better food, responsibly sourced. And in the meat aisle, that promise shows. You'll find grass-fed beef, hormone-free pork, and organic chicken. Products that speak directly to shoppers who care about where their food comes from. Many people trust Whole Foods more than any other supermarket. Customers often rave about the freshness, consistency, and peace of mind they feel when buying meat there. The store leans heavily into that image, and it mostly works. But paying for that trust means paying more. Whole Foods is famously expensive, so much so that people joke it should be called whole paycheck. Studies have found its prices averaging far higher than Walmart and other big chains, despite attempts to lower them after Amazon bought the company. Even with discounts, Whole Foods has remained one of the priciest grocery stores in America, and the meat aisle is one of the main reasons why. High cost isn't the only concern, transparency is too. Whole Foods markets its meat with labels like "no antibiotics ever." But investigations have revealed cases where beef labeled antibiotic-free actually tested positive for drug residues. This led to a lawsuit accusing Whole Foods of misleading customers and charging more for claims that weren't always accurate. The federal government has also raised broader concerns about vague industry labels like grass-fed or free-range. These terms often lack strict oversight and can confuse shoppers who are paying extra for what they believe are higher standards. While not unique to Whole Foods, it shows how even premium grocers can sometimes fall short of the image they sell. There have also been complaints about overcharging. In New York City, consumer watchdogs found Whole Foods mislabeling the weights of prepackaged meat and other items. Investigators said the errors often led to customers paying significantly more than they should have. Whole Foods disputed the findings, but the controversy hurt its reputation for honesty and precision. Despite the problems, Whole Foods remains one of the most trusted names in grocery meat. Customers continue to praise the butcher counters, the variety of premium options, and the reassurance that comes with stricter sourcing standards compared to budget stores like Walmart or Target. Shoppers feel more confident that what they're getting is at least closer to the ideal of responsible, higher quality food. If you're shopping here for meat, read labels carefully and know what those buzzwords really mean. And if you think Whole Foods' high prices and big promises are surprising, wait until you see why Giant lands at the very bottom of this list. Have you ever felt overcharged or misled by Whole Foods meat labels? Share your story in the comments. Number 1. Giant, the grocery chain, where meat is a gamble. Giant should be the safe choice. It's a big grocery chain with plenty of stores, decent prices, and the kind of infrastructure that should guarantee fresh food. On the surface, the meat section looks normal. Shelves are stocked, counters are open, and everything seems fine. But looks can be deceiving. Shoppers who buy meat from Giant often walk away disappointed. Some report opening chicken at home only to find it spoiled, even though it looked okay in the store. Others talk about beef that turns brown after just one day in the fridge, or pork that carries a strange smell the moment the package is opened. These aren't isolated incidents. They're consistent complaints across different locations. Mislabeled products are another frustration. Customers have found expiration dates that don't seem to match the condition of the meat, or labels that suggest one cut but deliver another. Pair that with understocked shelves and counters that feel understaffed, and shopping for meat at Giant becomes more stressful than it should be. The most frustrating part is inconsistency. At some Giant locations, shoppers get exactly what they expect: decent quality, fair pricing, and no problems. At others, the experience feels completely different, with meat that looks like it should have been pulled off the shelf days ago. This uneven standard makes Giant especially difficult to trust. Compare that to other stores with bad reputations. Walmart, for example, is known for low-quality meat, but at least shoppers know what they're getting into. With Giant, the problem is unpredictability. One week you might get good quality, and the next you might bring home something that spoils overnight. That uncertainty makes customers nervous, and it keeps many of them from ever trying again after one bad purchase. The chain's size only adds to the disappointment. Giant has the resources, the supply chain, and the staffing to get meat right. Yet, for some reason, it often falls short. Shoppers expect better from a company with this much reach, which makes the letdowns feel even worse. Because of this, Giant has built one of the worst reputations for meat reliability in the country. For families who are trying to budget carefully and don't want to gamble with what ends up on the dinner table, Giant is simply too risky. Why take a chance on chicken that might go bad tomorrow when there are other stores where the quality is at least more consistent? In the end, that's what hurts Giant the most. Not just the occasional bad cut of meat, but the fact that customers never know what they're going to get. When it comes to groceries, trust matters. And once that trust is broken, it's hard to earn it back. For that reason, Giant sits at the very bottom of the list when it comes to reliable meat. So, what does this all mean? It means that behind the glossy branding and neatly packaged cuts, the truth is messy. Target and Trader Joe's look polished but fail on freshness. Walmart is cheap but risky. Giant promises a lot but delivers very little. On the other hand, Wegmans and Whole Foods actually live up to the hype, if you can afford them. Sprouts fall somewhere in the middle, offering health-conscious options but struggling with consistency. At the end of the day, where you buy your meat matters. And as long as these chains keep cutting corners, it's the customer who pays the price. So be smart, shop carefully, and share your own meat aisle horror stories in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you got value from this breakdown, hit like, subscribe for more food truth-telling content, and share with your friends if they are buying meat from the listed grocery stores.